Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Smoke Dispersion Briefing for Friday, December 23rd, 2016. This morning's water vapor imagery shows an area of low pressure moving into the west coast that will bring some precipitation to the Great Basin starting today and continuing through Christmas Day. Ahead of this system, ventilation rates are still fairly low with the low mixing heights across the region. There are some gustier winds moving into southern Nevada already today, but elsewhere winds will be generally light with those low mixing heights. On Saturday, that area of low pressure really plunges south through the Great Basin and even down to the southern U.S. border. That will allow ventilation rates to come up just a bit over Nevada. However, for Utah and Idaho, the ventilation rates will still remain fairly low. Again, the windiest areas will be over southern Idaho and most of Nevada and some portions of southeast Utah. However, with this storm moving through, mixing heights will still stay fairly low, keeping the ventilation rates on the lower side. That low quickly moves off to the east, bringing a return to a more stable air mass. This will decrease ventilation rates across the west, but allow them to come up somewhat over Utah. Gustier west to northwest winds will move into the eastern portions of the Great Basin. That will allow the mixing heights to come up and increase those ventilation rates. Clearing index for Utah for the next 3 days shows the lower values for today and increasing somewhat on Saturday and Sunday. 3-day precipitation accumulations are shown here, with the best chance for precip over southern Idaho and western Utah and down into southeast Nevada. The bulk of this precipitation will occur later today and mostly on Saturday and into Sunday morning. On Monday, stable west to northwest flow returns to the Great Basin, creating more stagnant air and decreasing the ventilation index. This trend continues into Tuesday with generally dry westerly flow, becoming a little bit more northwesterly on Wednesday, and the high pressure kind of settles in for Thursday. So most of next week, the ventilation rates are going to be on the lower end. Longer term precipitation accumulation, looking at next week, the first few days of next week, precipitation will be limited to the north. The extended forecast going into the first part of 2017 is calling for below normal temperatures across the north, with above normal chances for precipitation over much of the Great Basin. This concludes today's briefing. Please check back on Tuesday for the next update.